Hello everybody and welcome back to our Tampa Bay Buccaneer franchise here, Madden 17. Week 2 is officially in the books, and boy was Tampa Bay ready to get out of Maryland, out of the north, and back into beautiful Sunshine State, Florida. Because this up against the Bears will be the first home game of the 2017 NFL season. But let's just discuss what happened against Washington, and then we'll take a look at what happened in the division. And you guys know that will do it for all the weekly recaps. Very short, but to the point. So, first things first, we have to look at what happened to Washington. A 34-20 loss. It was a bad loss, but Ryan Griffin had to come in, and he basically cleaned up the garbage. That's all you could really say. Washington absolutely dominated us. Offensive pass yards, offensive rush yards, not so much, but they still won the category. Total yards, they came back. And then total yards gained, somehow we won that category by 23. I don't know how. Punt return yards probably had a big thing to do with the kick return, not so much. First downs, we had 20 of them. Turnovers, we had 2 of them. Obviously, the Doug Martin fumble is one of them. Third down conversions, we had 8. Fourth down, we had 2. We were perfect on fourth down conversions, both with Ryan Griffin. Time of possession, we dominated by 7 minutes, give or take. Penalty yards, obviously 50 yards is half the field, so not really anything too good there. Red zone, field goals, it was basically Roberto Aguayo all the way through. Literally the first half, just 6 points, 14-6 at half. And then touchdowns, well, we had Ryan Griffin run one in, and I believe he threw one in. So let's check that right now. Player stats, we will go to the Buccaneers first. Ryan Griffin came in, mid-third quarter, if not earlier. 143 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 sack, only got sacked once. So that's really good R-line played. When the game was almost over, basically over. He had longest pass of 16. I believe that was to Mike Evans. He went 19 for 23, so he completed 82%, and he averaged about 6.2. Winston, the starter, he only threw for 54 yards. He had enough to go 5 for 7. He didn't get sacked at all. His longest was 16, and he completed 71%. And then Mike Lennon, our second string, completed 53%, 14 for 26. He did not get sacked at all. Our O-line did really well, only allowing 1 sack the entire game, but the defense was not there at all. For rushing for Tampa Bay, Doug Martin, 46 yards on 13 carries. He had 1 fumble. He did okay, 13 yards after contact, 9 longest run, but Mike Glennon also had a run for 9 yards, and really nothing else besides that. I mean, Charles Sims literally didn't have an attempt at all in the game. Winston 1 time before he got hurt. Griffin twice, 1 for a touchdown. Glennon once. And that's basically it. Receiving, Tampa Bay really didn't do anything spectacular. 96 yards from Colston, 76 from Murphy, 63 from Safarian Jenkins, 54 from Evans, 15 from Russell Shepard. I mean, we moved the ball around a lot. 9-8, 7-6, 6-2. We moved the ball a lot, but it just wasn't meant to be. 3 solo tackles from David Lauder, rookie, major rider, free safety, 3 tackles. Quan Alexander, 5. He was the big guy. He also, I believe, forced the fumble, or it wasn't him. It was Josh Robinson. He forced the fumble and then picked it up and ran it back. So, really defensively, that was all we had going for us. So, Washington, what did they do? Well, let's start on defense. Stephen Tolick, 7 tackles. He was a monster. He had the only sack of the game. Preston Smith had 6 assisted tackles. He had 8 total. Tulloch had 14. Norman had 12 for a cornerback. That's ridiculous. Although he was shadowing Mike Evans, so probably it's going to happen. Chris Baker, 6. Kerrigan, 5. I mean, it went hand in hand with them. Receiving, Jordan Reed killed us on 1 reception out of those 109 yards, the 47-yarder. Deshaun Jackson had a day, 1 touchdown, Buck 17 on 5 catches. So did Garcon, 4 catches, 67 and a touchdown. We cannot stop them when they crossed the 50. It was just really bad. Rushing, Matt Jones, 28 yards, or 28 attempts, sorry, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. Besides that, Kendall Lawson, the backup in Washington, 1 attempt, 3 yards, but it was for a touchdown on 3rd and goal. And then Keith Marshall, their 3rd string, he also had 1 attempt on 3 yards, but that's all he saw of his day. And then passing, Captain Kirk, 334 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 4 times compared to Tampa Bay's overall 1, so that's very good to see. But completing 72% of passes and just getting the ball where you need to. Not the best combination. So really not much to talk about in the Redskin game. Hopefully a lot to talk about in the Bears game coming up. And then we have the Panthers and then the Niners all at home for weeks 3, 4, 5. Hopefully if we can play like we did against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, this season will turn around. And speaking of turning around, this 1-1 Buccaneer team is not in last. No, we are actually in a 3-way tie. New Orleans is 0-2. Atlanta is 1-1. Carolina is 1-1. Let's go ahead and check who they lost to, because I honestly was so mad at our game that I did not want to check. And yeah, it just wasn't good. Falcons, man, they got their butts beat by Miami, so that's something. 42-21. That's good for us, I guess. Panthers, they beat the Lions 10-3, so no offense at all there. Maybe a touchdown. Well, touchdown, yes, but past that, nothing. And then finally we have the Saints. Where are they? Let's see, New Orleans, what did they do? They lost to the Bills. Alright, so 2 pretty bad losses for the NFC, well, 3 bad losses for the NFC South. Redskins, Bills, and Dolphins. Flip side, AFC is looking pretty good with that. They have 2 losses, and just because. Let's check the AFC East. Patriots, I'm gonna assume they won. Nope, they lost to the Jets. They're actually 0-2. Okay. They're without Brady, though. Pretty sure this New England team is without Brady. Let's check here. Yeah, no, they're definitely without Brady. Trey Shackelford is the new quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo's still there, so is Jacoby Brissett. They didn't go anywhere in the offseason, so more power to them. But guys, that is the weekly recap for week 2. Week 3, we will be home at Raymond James for the matchup against the Chicago Bears. And hopefully you will see Winston and Glennon back. Also, Levante David got injured. We will hopefully see him back next week. A lot of injuries, but should be a fun one against the Bears. We'll look to go 2-1. We'll see you guys there.